Welcome to the Transformational Soul Show with your host, Ruth Soltman. Are you ready to experience more stability in your life? You can change your life and be who you are meant to be, your authentic self.
Well, hello, everyone. Welcome to the Transformational Soul. My name is Ruth Soltman, and I would like to welcome you and thank you so much for being here tonight. We are live streaming right now on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and, well, X, used to be called Twitter, and Rumble. So I want to thank you wherever you are joining from. I hope you will say hello so we know you're here. Hello, Robert. Thank you so much for your super sticker. And hello, Richard. So nice for you to see you guys here. I hope that you will please hit the like and the thumbs up buttons and share the show. I really appreciate those of you who share it every week. I'm very grateful for that. Please check out my website, ruthsoltman.com, RUTH, S as in Sam, I forgot how to spell my name. S as in Sam, OLT as in Tom, M as in Mary, AN as in Nancy.com. Now, if you go to my website, you're going to be able to find out about my books, my oracle cards that I created, and all of the services that I provide. There's more detailed information there on the books and services as well. If you haven't already, please come and join the Goldylocks group on Telegram. It's just a wonderful, wonderful group. And we have, we share so much amazing energy and information on a daily basis. And also, don't forget that Goldylocks Productions has an online merchandise store where you can get lots of awesome merchandise. So go and check that out. What a great gift, to get someone with the holidays coming up, or maybe even just treat yourself. Hello, Joyce. Nice to see you here tonight. And also, don't forget to check out the Goldylocks Productions Energize cards, the oracle cards that we created. They're really amazing. And there's a link where you can order them directly, and they will be shipped right to your home. And what an amazing gift that makes for the holidays as well. So each of the cards, each of the show hosts did a certain number of cards. We came up, with quotes or sayings or whatever, and thoughts, ideas, and then Tiffany put it all together. And they look absolutely amazing. Let's see what else. So I want to wish a very happy birthday to Anna D. It's her birthday today. And to Ty, Tiffany's dog. He turned 10. That's awesome. And to everyone else who is celebrating a birthday this week. And let's send out some love, light, and healing to all who are in need. I have seen on my Facebook not several, but a few of my Facebook friends, some that I do know in person, have had some very severe losses this week. So if you would send out some, love and light and healing energy, I know they would really appreciate that. Hello, Sarah. Nice to see you. You're welcome, Tiffany. If you would like to make a tip or give a donation, you are more than welcome to do that. You can do that via my Venmo, a Rumble rant on Rumble, or a super chat, super sticker on YouTube. Know that your tips and donations are very much appreciated. And my tips and donations that I received last month covered the cost of my show for this month. So I'm very, very grateful. It really helps out a lot. Let's see. And I know I've said this for the last couple of weeks, but I'm just going to say it one more time. Sometimes some of the shows might only live stream on Rumble and X. If you get on your usual platform to watch one of the shows and you can't find it, then please check on Rumble or X. And remember, you don't have to have an account on Rumble to watch it, only if you want to comment. So keep that in mind. And it's pretty easy to set up an account on there. I hope you all will join us this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Saturday, November 11th, 11/11, for the Spiritual Message Circle. It is the only spiritual message circle for the month of November. And it's going to be a powerful show. How can it not be? It's on 11/11. And also, while I'm telling you that, keep in mind, too, that next month for December, there will only be one spiritual message circle. So I want to share something with you guys that happened for me last week. So a week ago Monday, our temperatures were pretty decent. And all of a sudden that night, the temperatures dropped 40 degrees, like within an hour or two. The next day I got up, I'm all stuffed up, and I'm like, I don't, my mom used to always tell me, if you're going to go out when the weather's cold, you need to dress warm or you're going to catch cold. And I always tell her, that's such a crock because a cold is caused from a virus. So I did a little information, and a sudden drop in the temperature like that can actually cause it, because it has to do with the sudden drop in the temperature, which affects your immune system. And there are different viruses and germs that live in different temperatures. So it can actually happen. So I was stuffed up for, several days, and I had a lot of congestion like throughout the summer, and I had a really hard time. It took me a while to get rid of it. I was like, a lot of stuff was, I think, just being cleansed from my body or something. So there's this woman on social media that I follow. Her name is Margaret O'Neill, I believe. And she has some really incredible natural solutions for things that ail us. So I was watching her video, and she said that if you take an onion, you put it in, you put it on the bottom of your foot, because your foot has like tons, and the bottom of your feet have so many pores. And you wrap a plastic, like a grocery store bag, over it, and then put your socks on over it, and you sleep in it so that the onion is touching the bottom of your foot. So I'm trying to figure out, okay, that was pretty much what she said. She said, onions are a drawer, DRAWER. They draw things out. Think about, like, that's why you're not supposed to, you're only supposed to store them in like glass containers, because they will absorb like other odors or things that are in your refrigerator. So I'm watching the video, and I'm thinking, I wonder if this is going to work. And I did a little bit of research. Some people used red onion, some used yellow, some sliced it, some diced it. But you sleep like that overnight, and when you get up, the onion is supposed to draw out the mucus or the inflammation or whatever it is. So I got up the next day, and I'm like, I'm not sure yet, So I did have a little residual stuff there, but after I blew my nose, and pretty much it's been really good. And I only did it the one time. If I would have done it a few nights, I think everything would be completely gone. But it did take away the congestion that was in my chest. I noticed that right away. But as far as like my nose being plugged up, yes, it took a huge amount of it away. I could still breathe clearly. In the mornings, I do, have to blow my nose a little bit, but it's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, because who would think, onions on your feet is going to do any good, but it actually does. So I really like a lot of the things that she has to say. She has some really basic solutions for things. So if you guys get a chance, check her out. She also has a website. but I don't know the name of her website offhand. But there's a lot, she has a lot of really great little videos out there for different things. So if you guys are all stuffed up, or you have a lot of congestion and mucus, try the onion thing, because I was really amazed at what a difference it made just overnight. So there's have you guys been feeling some crazy energy? I've had a lot of symptoms this week. I've been feeling it a ton. And I just saw today that we're supposed to have a massive energy shift tonight. And I feel like, this is going to continue to happen throughout the rest of this year until the year is over. But I've been feeling it immensely this week. I've had dizziness, nausea, a lot of that, headaches, anxiety. I have been feeling this internal pressure to get things done more quickly, even though in my head and in my heart, I know I don't need to rush, but I've been having this inner feeling that I do need to. Good night, Richard. Have a great night at work. Thank you so much for being here. Oh, thank you. Thank you there, Tiffany. She posted Barbara O'Neill's website. So I've also been feeling pretty irritated lately, like things bother me, get on my nerves. That's been going on for about a week. So I'm sure some things are coming up to the surface that need to be healed. And this energy is probably intensifying that a lot. So if you're experiencing any of these kinds of symptoms or anything else, know that you are not alone. And remember, this too shall pass. So be a little bit kinder to yourself and others. Always be kind to others as well. And make sure you're taking great care of yourself. My biggest issue is I'm having sleep difficulty, as far as I can go to bed, really early, and I'll fall asleep, but then I'll wake up 20 minutes later and not be able to go back to sleep. That's the biggest part for me. So I did over the weekend, I did manage to take a short nap, and that really helped. That really helped me for the rest of the night and the next day. So if you need to nap and you're able to, do that. Our bodies tell us exactly what it needs all the time. We're just not always listening. So let's see what else I have here. So words are very powerful. Our words are very powerful because they contain energy. They can sometimes contain emotions, right? They create thoughts, they create ideas. Words create energy, they create emotion. And it's important for us to choose our words wisely. And there's a lot of words that we hear today that have a different meaning attached to them than what they actually mean or what they did mean, throughout the years. And we repeatedly hear these things, and eventually those things become our truth because we really don't know any better. So there's a few words that I picked out that are ones that I don't want to say it's like a pet peeve, but people need to be mindful of what they're saying and be clear on what they're saying so as not to confuse everyone. Like the word surrender. I struggled with that word for a long, long time because you would always hear it. You need to surrender that. You need to surrender to this. And when I hear the word surrender, the first thing I see is, a police car, some people in handcuffs, and being taken away against their will, and surrendering to the law, I guess. But surrendering just means to get out of your own way. When I found this out and realized this, first of all, it really deeply resonated with me, but it also was very powerful for me to come to that realization, because I had always had this negative connotation of the word surrender. It always felt like a negative thing to me, but it isn't. It's a very powerful and a very positive thing, because you are the obstacle that is in your way, and by surrendering, you get out of your way so that all of your good can come to you, right? All of your good can come to you. Now, I was raised Catholic. That was my parents' religion, and that's what they bestowed upon their children. They never questioned anything, nothing. And I can remember, even as a child and a young child, asking tons of questions because some things just didn't make sense to me. They didn't resonate with me. One thing I was always told is we cannot access God ourselves, our creator, source, that we need an intermediary to do that for us, because we're just these mere mortal people. And, God is up here, this great, big, powerful, and we're like the little minions. And so, we're too small to communicate with God ourselves. And even as a child, that bothered me. But what I was told was that we can call on Mother Mary and ask her to intercede for us. We can talk to a priest, which that one confused me even more as a child, because they're human beings just like, we are. So why is it okay for us to tell them and they could go to God for us? It never made sense to me. And I was also told that you never question God. Now, my grandmother on my mother's side, okay, her and my grandpa were Lutheran, and she believed that you should fear God and his wrath, and that you didn't want to do anything to tick him off. Okay. Now, that never resonated with me either. Because to me, God and anything surrounding that was just all about love. But Jesus didn't follow a religion. Buddha didn't follow a religion. But religions were created by man in their image, right? I'm not saying that's a good thing. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, not positive or negative. It just is what it is. Everyone has their own belief system, and it's individual to each of us, right? And it's really important to be able to know and understand how you feel about things and what things you believe. So religion was always one of those taboo words. And whenever we would have guests for dinner on Sundays, religion was one of the main things that you did not talk about. Politics was another one, because everybody has different views. I think it's great that everybody has different views and we can all learn from each other. How about the word witch? What's the first thing that comes to mind when you hear that word? Mostly in society, witches have been portrayed as evil and bad, right? But what is a witch? You can have positive and negative aspects of anything, any religion, of teachers, politicians, doctors, lawyers. There are those that work with the light, and there are those that don't. But the word witch, witches cast spells. What is a spell? A spell is words with intention. And isn't that the same thing as what a prayer is? So why do people still freak out so much when they hear that word? If your son came home and said, "Oh, I have a new girlfriend." Yeah, she's a witch. I mean, a lot of parents are going to be like, what are you talking about? Because they're not going to feel comfortable. But before people, discriminate or are not accepting of something or someone, they need to educate themselves. Because the only thing that they're really fearful of is what they don't know. right? How about the word spiritual? I can remember when I was younger and that word would pop up, a lot of people were like, oh, that's the woo-woo stuff, or, oh, it's all that new age mumbo jumbo. It's not. Being spiritual is having a personal connection and relationship with Source, with our Creator. It's our own personal connection. And how can we not be connected? We're part of that. We're part of Source. We're part of our Creator. But we were never taught that, right? We were always taught that we were separate. And how about the word psychic? A lot of times a psychic is portrayed by society as a fake, a hoax, a scammer. But you know what? We are all born with that gift, right? It's only some who choose to open it and use it. But we all have that gift. Does it scare the crap out of some people? I'm sure it does. I'm sure it does. But it's very amazing. It's very amazing. And it's so amazing when you realize that you are born with it. It's a natural ability that we all have. We all have it. And how about using the word God interchangeably with Jesus? And I hear people do this all the time. And maybe it's just because this is not what I was used to, like growing up. I was taught that they were two separate things, two separate individuals. God was the Father and Jesus was the Son of the Father. Jesus was human. God was never human. So a lot of times I would hear people talking, and using God where they were referring to the man who rose from the dead. Or they're talking about Jesus and creating the earth, creating, the heavens and the earth. And it would always confuse the crap out of me. Always. And I'm sure there are lots of words that you guys come in contact with all the time that you feel the same way. I'm not saying that people are using the words incorrectly. It might be they just don't understand the difference. Maybe that's what they do believe. I mean, we don't really know. But just remember to be mindful of what you say. Just be mindful. If someone is hearing some information for the first time, and you're fumbling around and not being very clear, it's going to leave them really, really confused. So you don't want to do that. And remember that all of our words have enormous power. Just keep that in mind. Sarah said, I was raised that anyone that says they are psychic to stay away from. I was literally afraid of them, LOL. I had to disconnect from that. Wow. Well, when I was younger, I just kind of have to laugh because, like, my mom was raised Lutheran. And then she met my dad. She had an encounter with Mother Mary, and she wanted to become Catholic. So, the Catholic Church has tons and tons of all these rules and everything that you have to follow. And she went through like a whole bunch of stuff to, convert to Catholicism. And there was a lot of things throughout the years that my mom, she would say she didn't believe it, but you could, I guess, looking back now, you could feel her energy and just like, say, for instance, reincarnation. When I was a kid, there was this movie, Audrey Rose, that came out. And it was about reincarnation. I think it was a woman who saw this girl and thought it was her reincarnated daughter. I'm not positive if that's the, scope of what happened in the movie. But when that movie came out, there was a lot of talk, around about reincarnation. And my mom would always say, you could tell, she's like, she's like right on the fence. Like, I really do think that I do really believe this, but you know what? According to the Bible and according to the Catholic Church, it doesn't exist. So I have to go with no. And she was like that about a lot of different subjects. As she got older, she got more and more in tune with what she really felt and what she really believed to be true for her. Joy said, I was told by my mother to have my house blessed because I had a psychic there in my 30s. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. That's just sad to me that people react like that. But is it any wonder that people, keep their gifts hidden for so long? Because this is the kind of thing that a lot of people face. A lot of people. And that family, I don't know if you want to call it family pressure or what it is, but it's very strong. It a lot of times it has a big hold over us, whether we realize it or not. Like, my beliefs were a lot different than my mom and my dad. And I started, questioning things when I was little, a lot more when I was a teenager. And then I kind of just quit going to church with them and kind of started just, feeling things out for myself, figuring out what I believed. And then all those years later, back in, I think it was like 1990 maybe, when Conversations with God came out, and I was reading that book one, best book ever. And I was reading that, and this book was very intense for me. First of all, if I remember right, it seems like the print was a little bit smaller than what I'm used to, which sometimes would give me a headache. But that, plus these concepts in this book that were kind of blowing my mind a bit, and so my head would hurt. So I would read a little bit at a time, and I would sit there and I'd be like, wow, this is exactly how I feel. This is what I always thought, but it's totally different than anything, I was taught growing up. And it's hard sometimes to break away from that. But you eventually, usually, not always people do, but, eventually you really need to get to that point where you only accept what is your truth, not what is everybody else's truth. And only we know our truth for ourselves. And we can't live anybody else's truth, that's for sure, no matter how hard you try. There was something I was thinking about the other day, and I can't remember now what it was, but it was something that I can't remember if it was something somebody did, or I wish I could remember this now. But when this person was doing it or whatever, it felt, it looked, it sounded completely fake. And I'm just like, oh, this does not, no, And I can't remember the whole context of what it even was now, but I just remember that it was pretty intense at how fake it was. People need to be authentic. We can't be copying other people, copying what other people are doing. We have to do what is real for us. Maybe, okay, like my one granddaughter, she's a really, really good dancer. If I was out there trying to pretend like doing some of her moves, I would look totally artificial. I would look, crazy as heck probably. But when she dances, she does it with such grace and ease. I mean, it's very natural for her. Very natural. When she was 2 years old, she'd be dancing around the house, and she had moves that I hadn't seen on some adults. And we always talked about, wow, she's going to be a dancer. And she was, or she is. But you have to find where you fit in your world. Hi, Heather. Nice to see you. You have to figure out where you fit in your own world. We can't pretend to be something or someone that we're not to try to fit into someone else's. We need to figure out who we are. And one way to do that, of course, is to do our healing work, get rid of the stuff that doesn't belong to us, that we know doesn't belong to us, and move on from there. Another thing we need to be doing is figuring out which of, like we have like the set of core beliefs, right? We need to establish for ourselves a very solid foundation. So we need to know what our core beliefs are for ourselves. We have to make sure that we're not believing something just because that's what we were told when we were kids. It's funny, like I have some of my grandchildren, most of them are pretty young. And I can remember each one of them when they first started school. They'd be in kindergarten. They'd come home from kindergarten. Every single thing their teacher ever said, any words that they ever spoke, truth, no matter what. She could have told those kids the sky was orange or purple or black, and they would have insisted it was true. And there was no shaking that foundation. They believed every single word she said. Not that she was telling them anything bad or anything, but she might have said a few things that were a little different than maybe we would word things. But it was just really cute because the kids were like, nope, I know that's right. She told me. My teacher told me. My teacher told me. And sometimes that stuff gets so deeply ingrained into us that we're not sure what is ours anymore. So it can really benefit you to take that deep dive inside. You don't have to spend 2 weeks, at a retreat center. You don't have to go out into the woods without a phone, without any contacts, in total silence. But just take a deep dive inside yourself and figure out what is there for you. Figure out exactly what truths are yours. Because we all know the truth when we hear it, because we feel it. It resonates through our entire body. And that's a wonderful feeling too. When you hear something and all of a sudden you just get like those head to toe, spiritual body chills or goosebumps, whatever. Everybody calls them something different. But it's an amazing feeling. And when you feel that, you know that what you're hearing or what you're experiencing is truth. Your truth. And you can hear a lot of stuff and experience a lot of stuff, and maybe parts of it really resonate with you. So take those parts. Take those parts and keep them for you. And get rid of what doesn't resonate. Because that's not your truth. If it doesn't resonate with you, it's not your truth. Okay, so what I am going to do is give some messages. And if anybody would like a message, I'd be more than happy to do that. Keep in mind, I have to look at the calendar. I meant to do it before the show, but my Thanksgiving gratitude group thing, like I did last year, is going to be coming up soon. I'm not doing 3 weeks like before, just because that was kind of a lot, and now things are a lot busier in my day. So I want to make sure I can give it the attention that it needs and post when I need to and all that. So I've been thinking about 7 days. So I believe sometime next week it would start, but I'll let you guys know for sure. Because I really enjoyed doing that last year, and I had a lot of really wonderful feedback from you guys about it, and people seem to really enjoy it. So I'm definitely going to do that. And it's going to be in the group that I have now, my Facebook 365 Days of Gratitude group. So I'm just going to post it in there because all of the people that were in the Thanksgiving group last year are in there. So it works out good. And cannot believe this year is so close to being over. It's like really bizarre. Okay, so I'm going to, if you'd like a message, please just put it in the comments there. And let me see, I think I have my pendulum somewhere here. Yep, I do. Okay, if you want, if you have a yes or no question, I'd be happy to consult with my pendulum. Okay, let's see. You know, in holiday time to me, even as an adult, has always been like a magical time, especially Christmas. I've always, my whole life, loved Christmas. Christmas Eve is always my favorite day of the year. And I always liked it better than Christmas Day because of the anticipation, I think. And I can remember driving home from my grandparents' house. No, not my grandparents. Driving home from my parents' house when my kids were little. And driving home on Christmas Eve after we went and celebrated with my family. And it's like the whole world was asleep. There's barely a car on the road. And of course, you know, this was in Michigan, so it was cold and it was snowy. You don't see any businesses open except for Chinese restaurants and an occasional gas station. And it was just like the most peaceful feeling ever. Okay. Joyce, I've got you down. I got Sarah down. And Heather. Okay. You know, when I was talking about my mom and how she was about like psychics and reincarnation and stuff like that, I think a lot of the what held her back and was my dad, because he definitely was like, no, 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 no. And I've often thought to myself, you know, yeah, okay, Dad, tell me that again, because you know. But I think a lot of times that happens to us. You know, we let other people hold us back from, you know, living our dreams or talk us out of them sometimes. And a lot of times when they do hold us back or talk us out of things, it's not because they don't want us to do that. It's some kind of fear surrounding them, okay? Which I know sounds crazy, but it has nothing to, it's more about how, if this happens for you, how is my life going to change? Okay, how's this going to affect me? And I know that sounds kind of selfish, and I don't mean for it to, but a lot of times that is the case. So we can't let people hold us back from anything. We all need to be out there living our dream, manifesting everything that we want. Okay, Robert, I got you down first. And thank you again for your super sticker. Robert. Ooh. Vacuum away fear. Vacuum away fear. It says, call upon Archangels Michael and Raphael to lift fear-based energy from you, your surroundings, this situation, and everyone involved. Do not let fear have any control over your life in any way. Because you know what? Most of the time, those things that we fear don't happen. Number one. Number two, fear and love cannot live in the same place. So, why would you want to, wouldn't you rather get rid of the fear and just fill that space up with love? So I don't know what kind of, maybe there's a situation that, and you might not even think it's fear. Maybe it's more anxiety or apprehension. But you need to let that go. And know, Robert, that the angels are there to assist you with that. Hello, Devin. Nice to see you. And Robert, this is your wake-up call. So wake up. Smell the coffee. whatever it is that's holding you back, Robert, you need to let it go. This is your wake-up call for that. So whether it's something in your head, that's making you apprehensive or not want to pursue this, whatever this is, this is your wake-up call. This is your angels giving you a swift kick in the butt. They're saying, let it go. Now it's time. You need to move on. You need to do what you want to do. You need to bring these things into your existence. So I hope that resonates with you, Robert. And I'm going to pull a card for Richard. Richard had to leave and go to work. Let's see, Richard. You got the Goddess card. And this card says, express your divine feminine energy, embracing its magical intuition and nurturing qualities. And we all have that Goddess feminine, divine feminine energy, every single one of us, just like we all have the divine male energy. But that female energy seems to be the one, with a more nurturing energy, the more intuitive energy. So embrace that more, Richard. They're wanting you to embrace it more. You're very intuitive and you get lots of meaningful messages. They're sending you information all the time. They're wanting you to know that that's where this information is coming from. It's coming from your guidance team. It's coming from the angels, which some of them are on your team. And it's coming from your higher self and your intuition. Okay, so I hope that resonates with you, Richard. And Sarah. Throat chakra, Sarah. You got the throat chakra. The angels are helping you lovingly speak your truth. Whatever it is that you are holding back, that you might not want to communicate, you need to. You need to let it out. You need to say it. You need to speak the words. You need to hear yourself speaking the words. And you're going to feel a release, because when we hold on to that stuff, it creates blocks. And when you're not saying everything that you need to say that is your truth, sometimes you get that lump in our throat, or sometimes we might get a sore throat, or we might cough. So I've done Reiki sessions with people and they had a blockage there. And when I did the Reiki, I felt it in myself unblock, which is like the most coolest thing in the world, to think that you could experience something like that. And it's really absolutely amazing. Because the reason that happens is because you're directly connected with their energy while you're doing the session, right? And it's pretty amazing. So just know that there's going to be a release, a relief when you get this off your chest, so to say, whatever it is. So I hope that resonates for you, Sarah. And Joyce. What do we have for Joyce? It says, Joyce, heal away addictions. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. Ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. Now, they're not talking about addictions where, like alcohol or drugs or anything like that. But they're talking about specific behaviors that are blocking you from what you truly desire. Now, I know from my own experience, a lot of times that we can block ourselves because of fear, because sometimes we're afraid of what we're going to lose instead of looking at what we're going to gain. And change can be hard. It can be difficult for us. We're set in our ways. We're happy. How many times have you heard that from someone? You could do it like this instead, or maybe make a change here. I'm set in my ways. This is how I am. But it's not how you have to be. We're flexible, right? We're flexible. And we can make any changes in our life at any point or time in our life if we want to. You could have been a person who ate sweets 24/7 every day of your life. And now you're 80 years old, and all of a sudden, you know what? I think I want to start eating healthy. You can do that. And there will absolutely be benefits to your life for doing that. But the point is that we can make changes of any kind at any time in our life, no matter our circumstances. So no matter our age, no matter how much money we have in the bank, no matter what, we can make the changes that we want to make in our lives. We have that ability, we have that power, and we can manifest anything and everything that we want. I remember before I used to hear people talking about manifesting, and I thought, oh my gosh, that would be like the coolest thing ever, Well, I want this. Okay, poof, there it is. Now, it doesn't necessarily happen that fast, but manifesting isn't as difficult as we've always made it out to be. We just have to believe, trust, and get out of our own way so that the good can come to us. Okay, that was Sarah and Joyce. Sarah said, I've definitely been saying how I feel more, but there's lots more to say. Spot on. Thank you. Awesome. And once you do, you are going to feel pretty amazing. I can tell you. A lot of times we'll let little things bother us. And you know how it is. They'll just build up and build up and build up and build up. And then all of a sudden we just kind of erupt like a volcano. And a lot of times then our frustration and anger isn't even taken out on what we are angry or frustrated about. It's just the person that triggered us. So it's always good to communicate effectively with other people. Let people know how you feel about things. Don't keep all that stuff bottled up inside, because if you do, over time, it's going to cause resentment. It's going to cause more anger. It's going to cause illness. Check out the Louise Hay book, You Can Heal Your Life. It's an amazing, amazing book. So you don't want to hold on to anything. You want to be as clear. You have your energy be as clear as possible, operating effectively to benefit you the most on every level of your being. Okay, Sarah, I got Sarah. You're welcome, Robert. Heather. Let's see what we have for Heather. It says base chakra. I'll show you the picture in a minute. Choose only positive thoughts to describe your home, career, and finances, as your words determine your outcome. And how funny, we've been talking about how powerful words are. So like people, I've heard people do this before. Maybe they're not real happy with where they live. So they'll be like, they'll call it a dump, or maybe they don't take care of it as much because they don't appreciate it, but because they think, it doesn't look like what they feel it should look like, or whatever. That's like just one example. Or sometimes people won't want to talk about their career because maybe they feel like they should be at a different level or place in their life. So they talk down on it, or down to it, or about it. And that does not help you at all. That creates so much negativity. We have to be grateful for what we have at every stage of the game. Every stage of our life, there are different things to be grateful for. When we're young, we're very grateful for our parents and our family, right? They're our major support system. That as we get older and we venture out and we start to build our own families, well, that's our new structure, our new support system. And then as we get even older, it just always changes. It always changes. So be grateful for everything that you have, every step along the way, and every step along the way of your growth and your changes. Joyce said, "Thank you. I have been feeling the need for a change for a while, a certain type of work too." Put it out there, Joyce. You can manifest it. I know you can. I know you can. Devin. Devin. Oh, here's yours too. Heal away addictions. You got the same card as Joyce. It's time to let go of behaviors that are blocking you from your heart's desire. What are you letting get in the way? And sometimes that can be just a hard concept right there, that why would I let something get in the way of my happiness? But we do that. And we do that out of fear, or, maybe we don't want things to change, or anxiety, or whatever the reason may be. And when we start having those feelings, it creates this negative energy and creates an obstacle in our path. So ask the angels, ask Archangel Raphael to help you with this healing. To help you with this healing. You have to let go of whatever barricades you have put up there to keep you from your heart's desire. Because you deserve everything, Devin, that you want. Everything that you desire. And I feel like it's just like right there, right at the end of your reach. And there's just one little thing maybe blocking it. But you can kick that out of the way and go past it and go for whatever it is that you want. And you need to do that. So I hope that resonates with you, Devin. And let's see what else we have. Let's see if I missed anybody. So in 2 weeks, I will be having my Thanksgiving Eve show. And I am going to do a giveaway. And we'll see what else comes up, but I'll let you guys know for sure next week. And of course, I'm already planning on I've been planning on it since like May, my Christmas show. I'm so excited about that because I love to give away stuff. It's so much fun. And I'm really excited that this year, the show will be a good week before Christmas. So there shouldn't be any issues with anybody getting their gifts or prizes, in plenty of time. Oh, it just hit me. It's November already. I have to do my Christmas cards. Oh, I didn't realize it was... See what I mean? This year's gone by just way too fast. I can't believe that. November 8th already. Oh, boy. I try to start doing them like in September, which I know probably sounds really wild. But my list has been growing every year. So I started doing this in 2020. When I was a kid, we used to get Christmas cards every year. And my mom would tape them, along the archways in the living room, dining room. Our house would be full. And we'd have so many Christmas cards. And they would be people, that we would see often. They'd be people that we wouldn't see that often. But it was so nice because when you got that card, like you thought about them. And you thought about your memories of them and different things you did with them. And it was just, I always loved it. I always loved it. And when I got older and I had kids, well, I was just way too busy. I just didn't want to deal with it then. And then when COVID hit and everybody's staying home, so many people couldn't go and, connect with their family over the holidays. And I'm like, I got that spark, that voice that said, start sending out Christmas cards. And I'm like, oh, that's a great idea. So I started, and every year my list has just grown and grown. And the first year, and this is like the greatest thing ever, this one girl that I sent a Christmas card to, it was the first Christmas card she ever got in her life. And like it was just like she was over the moon about it. And I think that's just like so awesome. We should all start sending Christmas cards again. People hardly ever send anything through the mail anymore. I remember we'd be so excited as kids going to the mailbox, or the mailman bringing them. Well, back then he brought them right to the house, and just having like a stack of them in the mail. It's like, ooh, who's this one from? Who's this one from? And it was so exciting. So I get really excited every time I write out each one. I'm really enjoying that, so I'm going to continue doing it. This will be, 2020, 21, 22. This will be my 4th year doing that. Now, I will say stamps have gone up quite a bit just since I started, but it is totally worth it. It's totally worth it. It takes some time. I have my list on my computer, so all I have to do is print it out, and I just go in order, and I check. I checked like 3 times to make sure I didn't miss anybody. So last year, I got a couple back that I guess the people had moved and I didn't know. But a month ago, I received, and I've got to contact her still, I forgot. I received a big manila envelope from the post office. I think I told you guys about this. And in it was a Christmas card from like 2 years previous that somebody had sent me, but it had been stolen. But it had been ripped open as well, too. Hello, Annie. I would love to give you a message. Let me pull a card for you. And yes, this, we kept saying at the beginning of the year how fast the year was going to go, and it like blew my mind. I will say, last week when we changed our clocks, I know not everyone, in the U.S. does, but when we changed our clocks, fall back an hour. Monday was the longest day I have had in forever. I didn't think that day was ever going to end. I just remember it seemed like I was up for hours and hours, and I looked at my phone and I'm like, oh my God, it's 8:30 in the morning. How is this possible? I couldn't believe it. So, but the rest of this week has flown by. Just that one day. And I'm sure it's had some kind of an adjustment with, the whole messing with your head with the time. Okay, power animal, Annie. It says, your animal spirit guide is a guardian to you and is helping you with this situation. So they're talking about your spirit animal is helping and guiding you with whatever is going on with you. That's pretty cool. Now, this picture has a, that's a unicorn. Okay, there's the horn. Sometimes these cards, they'll have really small printing. Sometimes the picture, because of the colors of the picture, it's hard to make out, all the details. But yes, that's a unicorn she's riding on. I love that color of blue. Look at that. But your spirit animal is with you and guiding you and helping you. So I hope that helps you. Thank you guys all so much for being here tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. I will see you back here next week and then in 2 weeks for my Thanksgiving Eve show. You guys have a wonderful, wonderful week. I love you all. Good night.
Thanks for listening. We hope you enjoyed the show.